Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the next episode here in the One Tile Challenge, brought to you by, or presented by, or created by Zort Farming, friend of the channel and farming simulator and other content creator, former astronaut, maybe. Anyways, we are. Well, I don't even know. This is episode 4 here on the map, and we are in March. We left in March, the first day of March, in the last episode. This is now the second day of March. Don't get too hung up on the day because I have this feeling, as you've seen already. I mean, the first episode we started in August, and within the blink of an eye, we were already in September, and then I think we even ended that episode, in like the next year. Did we go to like December or something like that? Anyways, whatever. This is one of those gameplays where there's only going to be so much to do. Oops. And we're gonna have to kind of get ourselves through it. So I'm not gonna get hung up on skipping through days or skipping through months or whatever. Just to kind of keep things going. So we are starting this in March. We've got a number of sort of farming activities that are gonna have to happen today. We're gonna have to spend a couple bucks, as you can probably imagine. I'm putting in a field right now, so that typically comes with the need for seeds. Yeah, we got some action going on today. So, what on earth did I do since the last time we saw you? Well, this is one thing we've done. We've gone and put in a field. So this is the plow that, if you recall, I managed to pick in the Slim Pickens used inventory emporium. Slim Pickens, and that we don't have our glorious used equipment amplifier that we normally use, the PC mod, so we're not using that. I'll shut off create fields here for a second so I don't accidentally drop this plow and put a field in where I don't want it to be. Well, anyways, yeah, so we've been very slim pickings in regards to used equipment, but we did manage to pick this plow early on, if you recall, so it was, I think, money well spent. We've now just put in our first field. This is the field that we spoke about in the last episode, so this will be a grass field here, at least for now. I can't see maybe why it wouldn't continue to be a grass field, but anyways, that's what it is for now. Our sheep are, they're loving whatever it is I fed them. Oh my god, it's synchronized eating. Look, they're doing the exact same thing. Are we seeing the Matrix? Did you shoot? Two of them know what I was talking about. That was creepy. Anyways, all right, so what do we got for food here? So we've yet to see the meadow, but I'm thinking we'll see the meadow come in once we hit April, because we only put these guys and girls, or whatever they are, we only put them in March. So they still have 4,700 liters of food, 5,800 liters of water. All good there. They've barely spit out any wool. So that's fine. So I threw in a little bit of a fence here. My thinking was that at some point here, we're not going to be able to tell the difference between the sheep area and the meadow grass and this grass. So I figured, you know what, we'll throw this in here. That'll give us a little bit of a differentiation, and then we'll just kind of make sure that we steer clear of it with whatever it is we're doing. So that was that thought there. I will potentially put in a fence a little further along here, maybe. I don't know. It wouldn't be money well spent, but it would make me feel better. Sometimes that's all that matters. So anyway, so today we have to put grass into this field here. I'm going to put in a second field. I'm just really on the fence about how big to make the field. I'm going to do something that I've always wanted to do but have never done in the game, and that's going to be create a field that will eventually be a shared crop. So I've never done it before. I think the only person I've ever seen do this in game is Daggerwin, where he did a survival series on something, and maybe it was Comlands also. Was it Comlands? Anyways, he did a survival series, and sorry, I'm thinking about what map it was. Anyways, and he started planting like different crops in the same field. So he also screwed up and did stripes of different crops. I'm not going to do that, but I will maybe potentially do like a half and half. Okay, since we last saw you, we hired Granny. She has put up her little knitwear shop here where we're going to be able to feed wool in and directly make clothes. I've never used it. I've seen a number of people put it in to their playthroughs, but I've never actually seen anybody like interact with it. So I don't really know. I don't have an opinion on it, or whether it's fast or slow or what. But old Granny, we will potentially change the name to Granny Sweatshop. I have nothing in there yet, but I anticipate at some point through. Oh wait, look, they picked a Pope. Anyways, at some point throughout the day, I anticipate putting some wool in here so she can get to work. We added a little safety for it just so we don't slam into our old Granny with a tractor. So we put in a couple of those Jersey barriers and some pylons for those that aren't paying attention. Up here, we have our first sell point. I'm going to need to put in probably at least one more that I know of, and that'll be the sell point for the firewood. It's basically just like a pallet that sits in the ground, so we'll try to shove that in somewhere here. But I didn't want to just throw down a sell everything grate. It's very tempting. $1,000. I can't think that this was much more. Yeah, these are $1,300, so not much more than a regular sell everything grate. There's the firewood production one. But anyways, yeah, so we have that there now, so we don't have to drive all the way to that to the farmer's market or whatever it was. That was painful. Let's go. Okay, so here's my... I think what I'm going to do is put in... There's a flour mill that makes flour and pig food, and I can put oats, barley, wheat, and I think sorghum into it in order to make the flour. I believe a byproduct of the flour production is pig food. And then from there, I think I'd probably go and look to find an inexpensive bakery option and turn the flour into bread, and obviously sell the pig food. So that's kind of my thinking. I don't really know if that's the route we end up going, but what I'm going to do is plant oats today, I think. So we want to make sure by the end of this, we've got oats and grass in. So my thinking with oats is, well, we're going to get the oats, obviously, and we'll be able to put them into a bakery. Hopefully we have enough money for that. But we'll put the bakery in, and then, we'll put the flour mill in, right? So we'll do that, and then we'll get the straw off of it. So I want to kind of like bank the straw for something else I have planned. But anyways, once we do that, so when the oats come out, we'll have the ability to plant a couple things at that time still in this year. Because the oats are going to take a couple months, and then they'll be ready. We'll be able to plant now, get a harvest this year, and put another crop in. But at that time, we'll probably only plant half the field and save room for plant half the field and then save room for oats again. So that's what I'm thinking there. Now it's a little unfortunate. I kind of screwed myself a bit here with this putting the grass field where it is. But I think maybe what I'll do here is I think we'll put a quick laneway in here, and then we'll go and we'll cut a fairly large field for where we're going to be planting our oats. So let's just run up here right now so we can get the... I love using the tire tracks as my guide. So I'll often go through and just kind of take a run like this. You can see it's leaving tire tracks. And then I don't have to guess when it comes to actually, painting in the gravel. It's pretty obvious at this point, right? It's just follow the tire tracks. And then maybe what we'll do is we'll just run it straight to Granny's here, and then we'll figure out how we want all that to kind of exist after. This tractor, you really got to watch it. If you don't watch it, it just keeps on driving. It'll be halfway across the map and you won't even know where it is. All right, I'm just going to get this put in really quickly here. I've already missed the mark. No stress, just keep on going here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I can't even imagine what I'm spending right now to put in a dirt path. But I know there's enough inexpensive cedars combined with, potentially inexpensive seed that we should be okay. Again, this stuff has no impact on us making money or having a successful farm, but it just makes me feel better when I'm driving up and down the roads. So there's a couple areas that I'm going to leave open here, just to leave options open. One of them is this area, kind of like this area here. I don't know exactly what we want to do. I mean, This area between the sheds and the field, I thought was probably a smart thing to leave open because we could kind of pave this or gravel it up and kind of use it as somewhat of a staging area. This area here has potential for some additional greenhouses, maybe production. I don't know. What feels like a lot of space here is going to tighten up pretty quickly, I think. So we do want to make sure that we're using the space we have as, wisely. Yeah, this will be okay. I don't know how much money we spent so far. I gotta get my accountant to watch this, otherwise I'll lose track. We'll probably put a field in that's equivalent to the grass field, but yeah, let's just do that. So we want to come down this way at least to the grass field. Okay, we've now broken ground. And we're away to the races, doing our best to drive as straight as we can. But obviously, if we plow something that we didn't really want to plow, then we can always go and paint it in after. It's an easy fix. So let's just get the border of this done so you get an idea what we're doing. And then I'll just jump through and get the rest plowed up. And we'll go spend a couple bucks on a new piece of equipment for us. I don't know what we're gonna be able to afford to do. So normally what I'll do is I'll put the seeds in. We can back that up. Normally what I'll do is we'll put lime down. Then we will put the seeds in. Usually, and perhaps we'll be using the same thing that we've been using over on My Life in Poland. There's a seeder that allows you to also put the fertilizer down. So you purchase your solid fertilizer. So you put the seeds and the fertilizer in. Then I'd go so far as to then put a second layer of fertilizer, which would be manure, but I don't think we'll be able to do that. And then I would spray for the herbicide, and then I would go after that, and I would put in and I would roll. So are we going to be able to afford those things? I don't know. But yeah, so we'll get seeds in. I don't know what to think about. I don't know. We just don't have a lot of luxuries when it comes to all the steps. So I'm not sure what kind of yield improvements we'll be able to put in. I have this kind of thought that I should be figuring out how to get cows, because then I can get their manure and use that as a fertilizer. But I don't know. I wonder, can I buy manure and slurry on the map? We should check the animal dealer there and see if that's actually something we can do, because it's pretty inexpensive to purchase. We just kind of want to get a good deal on a spreader, but there's some good ones that are not very expensive. What we'll be able to do once we get down to this end, we'll be able to look at the mini map, and it'll show us where the field is, or it should anyways, and then we'll know if we can sort of steal a little more to the right side there along the border, or whether we've gone all the way. That's all the way possible. It's so hard to judge when you're driving down these long straightaways whether or not you're going straight still. And then you kind of got to watch to cut back over. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut back over at the right time. So I'm just trying to keep all this really simple. It's funny. It's daunting. At first I'm like, oh, this might not be that hard actually. You're just kind of like, we're just got to make money and pay off that loan. But then you start to realize you're kind of limited for space. There's only so much you can do with it. Like I don't want to get into tons of different crops, but that's kind of what those gardens are good for. Like if I needed potatoes, for example, well, I can just grow those. If I need a certain crop, I can just grow there. But then nothing beats a field, right? And the amount of sort of grain you can take off of it and everything. But I think if I can just get a big ass field in here, and at least until the first harvest, put the oats in, get to the first harvest, and then plant half the field with something, so that way we're leaving room for oats again in the spring. That might be a good idea. Look at us with these nice big squared off fields. But that's kind of what you have to do when you're limited for space, I guess. You can't have much shape to your fields. Yeah, see, while I don't want to leave a bunch of space, that space is probably going to get used for production. Like the grain mill, for example, definitely needs some room. There's one that, see this, I don't know what I don't know about this grain mill that I saw, but with the pig food byproduct, because it's like $30,000 or $36,000. It looks fairly elaborate. It's tall and it looks well modeled and everything, but it's not very expensive. So I'm kind of questioning whether or not it's effective. But you'll see it here shortly. Anyways, let me get to the top here and we'll go figure out what to do with that little bit between this field and the sheep. All right, we're gonna just kind of go like this. So we'll have a little bit of a little dog leg here, but that's okay. It's manageable. We're staying away from the sheep, so we're not going to get too close to them. It's hard for me to gauge. I know there's probably like info mods or something that tell you way more. Well, there used to be a great info mod that would tell you like, what a field would potentially yield as far as like output. I don't have that, or I don't even know if it's a thing anymore, but because then you could sort of really kind of gauge what kind of money you were going to make off of a field, but I don't think we have that now. So anyways, yeah, let me get this middle piece filled in and then we'll admire this large piece of dirt together. All right, just looking here quickly to see if we are, yeah, I would say we're safely we're as close to the edge as I think we want to be without risking running off the edge. So that's good. And this is what it looks like. Oh, I'll make one other note. I noticed that the footage, the recorded footage from this map seemed to be very dark. So I found myself having to add some brightness in it when I was running through the editing software. So I upped it by 0.3 in the brightness adjustment in the back end of the game. So let's see how this one goes, anyways, and we'll sort of collectively judge it and determine whether or not we like the brightness. All right, so I just want to go over to this road here quickly and just tidy up the edges a little bit. Here's where I end up going too far over to the side and we screw everything up, or not far enough. Keep on a line here like this, then we should get a nice straight edge. I've already screwed it up. There we go. I don't need a lot of space there, but I would like enough room to be able to run a tractor or trailer, maybe a harvester up the side road there. The beauty of having a grass field next to this is the same as with the trees on the other side. I don't really have to worry about, like, I could turn a harvester around and run over the grass and not worry, because I'm not destroying the grass, right? All right, so I want to get up to this edge just so we can double check to make sure that we like everything that's happening around the sheep, and then we're going to call this a field. It looks like a big field, but I think once you actually start farming it, it may not feel that same way. And I think I'm okay with the top here. I mean, you can see where I mowed a little bit beyond, and I'm sort of tempted to try to get another pass in there, but I'm not going to do that. We're sort of trying to avoid the pylon over here. I think this is enough. We don't need to be greedy. Okay, so we have two things that I think really need to do. One is I'd like to get lime down. So I got to figure out a way to not only get the lime, but we need a way to spread it. And then I need the seeder and seed. And a bonus would be if we could also get fertilizer. So we're going to go dump this plow over here, and then we'll check the store. All right, we kind of want to work this backwards a little bit and make sure that we got the potential to put the seeds in first, and then a bonus will be able to spread the lime. So I was kind of thinking maybe we'd go for this seeder here that I don't ever use this one. I've never used this one, but it does only have 1,000 liter capacity, which is fine. We can always, we don't go through seeds really quickly, especially, well, tomorrow, actually, I should be recording this tomorrow because tomorrow precision farming comes out. But anyways, we're not going to have that benefit. We're shooting this before precision farming. Anyway, so there's 1,000, this has 1,000 liters and it's a 3 meter working width, and it only carries seeds. This one carries seeds and fertilizer. It's double the capacity and it's 4.4 meters. We're going to get the job done a lot faster. It's only $2,000 more. So on my life in Poland, I believe I've got the Valtra version of this. So maybe we'll get the Massey version of this. Not that it makes a difference, and then this time we're not getting the transport wheels because we don't really have to worry about that. So here's $12,000 out the window. So in my seeds here, it looks like the least expensive for 1,000 liters is going to be $800. So I can get 1,050 seeds, 1,050 liters of seeds for $800. Now these say pea or soybean, but it's just labeled that way. That's not actually the reality. So let's purchase one bag for now. Now fertilizer makes me nervous because this is where things get expensive. But I also know that it's a good boost for your... It's kind of a mandatory thing, I think, right, when it comes to planting. So this is where things are great. And honestly, I apologize. I don't know if this is crossplay or what, but here's a bag of solid fertilizer for $500 for 1,000 liters. Where like a base game bag of solid fertilizer, it's like this, isn't it? $1,900 for 1,000 liters, and I'm going to get it for $500. So my apologies to anybody that's on console if this is not crossplay, but this agrochemical bag of solid fertilizer is all ours. So I'm going to get 2 bags of that. I bought 1 bag for now. So we still have $26,000, and I've got probably $5,000 worth of stuff I could sell if I needed to. Always got to check the store. All right, I have a feeling I'm going to regret this, but this thing's only $1,000. It's got a 10-meter spread, whatever. It only holds 500 liters. Like here's one that's 3 times the price, and it holds a base 600 liters, right? You want to go to 400, or you want to go to like 1,000 liters? It's, way more money. So this one was, oh wait, is this? I think this Vicon one is the one we were using on Oak Bridge, and it was fantastic. But you still go through this stuff so fast. And look, this is over 3 times the price. Granted, it holds 1,000 liters and goes 18 meters, but we're going to use this stuff quickly. I think we're going to take a roll the dice on this and probably regret it. All right, so then in regards to purchasing the actual lime in a bag or whatever, so we have these bags that are $110 for 500 liters, so $220 for 1,000. So that would make it less than this bag here, obviously, because for 1,000 you'd be $350, so we'd be up some money. But then if you look at this one's 2,000 liters for $450. So instead of $440, we're spending $450, and we're getting it all in kind of this one thing. So I think what we're going to do is we'll get, I can only imagine we're going to need more than one. So we'll get one. All right. So we're going to just also, the prices for our produce, when you compare the farmer's market and our new small sales station, they're very close, so we're going to just take this stuff up to our sell point here. Well, actually, I'm assuming it takes peas. I know one of these said farmer's market, sell it there, but I'm assuming that wasn't because our little store doesn't take it. I think our little store takes everything. So what are we actually picking up right now? We're picking up a fertilizer spreader. Or it's the spreader for the lime. Yeah, okay, so we have 1 container, so we can put the container on the forks and put the spreader on the back, and we'll put lime down in our fields. Then we go back up for the seeder, at which point we can probably, yeah, okay, we should be able to get everything back. I was just kind of thinking ahead as to what logistically what we're going to do. Oh, the lettuce disappeared quickly. So like $3,600, I guess. We'll probably also try to, somebody mentioned that whether they didn't know for sure, but had a suspicion that we should be splitting up, planting, or just having one greenhouse do lettuce and one greenhouse do peas, just in case there was a harmful effect there with the yield. So I think we'll do that. I just forgot to do that earlier. Okay, well, oh Lord of farming, please don't make me regret this. We're off to a good start. All right, so that's funny. Normally you can just drive up to something, press R, and fill it up, but no, this one's got to be different. Just got to be different, eh? All right, I see how you are. Somebody had asked me if I was going to start using a controller, Xbox controller, to do some of the loading and things like that. And I keep forgetting I have a controller. I mean, I use it for another game, MX Bikes, And but yeah, I keep forgetting to set it up or test it anyways. So this is no different. All right, forgive me for the guided steering, but I don't want to waste a single drop of this, and we have the tool available, so I'm using the dang tool. I'm using auto load too, so really I don't feel too guilty about using this, but let's do this. I'm curious too, I don't think the spreader is going to feed off the pallet on my front forks. I know that was a thing in FS22. We were burning through lime here. I know that sometimes if you had a pallet on the front forks, then it would fill your implement. We're about to find out in about 10 liters. I don't think it's the... Yeah, okay. I knew that would be too good to be true. Oh, man. We've got our work cut out for us. Not to mention this thing driving around in the dirt with no weight is not great. So this is going to take a little bit of time, I think, and resources. Oh, get up there. Yeah, oh my god. All right, well, how long is this going to take me, do you think? Anyways, let me get the lime down. This kind of how this series is going to go, right? We're going to start something, and then I'm going to say, okay, well, I'll see when it's done, and then we're going to check in again. Because honestly, I could run time lapses, I could include the footage, but I really want to get through as much stuff as possible, and I don't want to make these long, drawn-out episodes. Not that you know, that's not what I typically do, but so anyway, that's kind of the process we're going to run with. So see you in a minute there, folks. Okay, we're obviously not done yet, but I'm out. So that was the first 2,000 liters, and we got about that far. So I'm going to say that we probably need like 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 more for that field, and I think I'm going to buy 8 of them. And then we'll see how far that takes us. Yeah, because we are not... and so 2 things. One, we use it up quickly, which is obviously what we thought. And this is... we have a fair size... well, the nice thing about lime is we have to do it now, and then we might not have to do it for a couple harvests anyways, right? So that's a good thing. But anyways, and it's not super expensive. I'm hopeful that it does really impact the yield in a positive way. But anyways, yeah, so we get this done once, and then we don't really have to worry about it much after that. I really miss having the, the random stuff, like, for example, lime for sale in the used market, like we have on with that enhanced sale mod. But anyways, I'll stop complaining. Let me go pick this stuff up and keep on going. Okay, so you can only pick up one of these at a time. Sorry, I can pick up 2, but you get to this balancing tipping point, and then I can't actually get them out of the trailer. So let's tone it down a little bit there, folks. So personally, I'm not really finding this very enjoyable. I kind of want to just get the seeds in the dang ground and move on. But these are the pain in the ass things that you have to do in order to have a successful farm life, I guess. Like whatever I just did with that pallet there. Now I also got to remember that there's no straps on this trailer, so we want to make the most secure load we can possibly make that would be immune to any bumps. And so far, I am definitely not doing that. Yeah, maybe a diamond pattern. That'll help. Thought I'd jump in here and show you a little bit about the and share with you a little bit of my living hell. So this is by no means fun at all. So we just refilled, so let's get our lines back on again, because every time we refill we have to detach. I'm assuming that if I just had big bags, then I could probably just roll up and hit the R button on the keyboard and refill. But because this is this type of pallet, I think I'm having to detach the spreader and then empty the lime into the spreader, which has proven to be quite a challenge. But anyways, what is not a challenge on this map? Nothing. Everything takes time and some mental fortitude. So here, we're coming up. So we got 1,032. So we got 2 liters here. Here, let's just do this. Okay, so that's great. So now I lower, detach. When the spreader, or when the pallet's more full, this is even worse because everything is very front heavy. All right, so that should empty into there. I didn't notice. Yeah, okay, so I still have 500 liters in here. Good. We're getting pretty close to the end of this anyways, which is nice because I'm really looking forward to getting the seeds in there. I'm hopeful, so I'm actually hopeful that today, i.e. this in-game day, it's 1:30. I've kept the time set at 3 the entire time, so I mean, I was tempted to slow it down at one point, but I thought, you know what, we'll just suffer along. I can see there's a strip over there that by the time, I guess it just didn't line up properly, so we'll see what kind of lime we have left. If I have any lime left, then we'll go and we'll take care of that line. Otherwise, I'm not going to sweat over that one line we didn't get lime down, but we'll see. But yeah, I'd love to get the grass and the oat seed into the ground. That would be solid if we could do that. Because then I think when we roll into April, would we not see both germinated already? And I mean, the quicker I can get grass growing, the quicker I can mow it, obviously, and then we'll take some of that grass and make silage, and we'll take some of that grass and have it available to feed our sheep. Eventually, what I think I want to do, because I noticed that, I mean, TMR was pretty lucrative as we're selling it over on New Frontier. So I'm wondering if maybe at some point I can get into TMR production. I don't know whether that makes sense or not. We're not going to have animals to feed it to. All right, we're just going to try to get these little strips on both fields now. Unfortunately, yeah, see, I think this is where precision farming would really pay off, because it would probably only apply the lime to that middle section where it's needed. But I think right now what it's doing is it's just dumping lime over the areas that we've already covered. But anyways, whatever, it is what it is. All right, so we disconnect. Try to get ourselves turned. So the one thing with the oat, not so much the grass field, because we don't grow weeds in grass, but the oat field, I'm a little concerned about how I'm going to deal with weeds, and whether or not we're going to be able to get ourselves a sprayer. So I wonder, is it? Yeah, okay. So it's the episode the episode 8 on my life in Poland. I just bought a really good sprayer combo. Well, I haven't used it yet, so I can't tell you if it's really good, but it's a, you know, like a 2,700 liter capacity trailer, and then you attach the sprayer arms that would normally go on that Fendt tractor, from that Fendt FarmCon pack. So it looks cool. It was less than 10 grand, and it allows me to spray a 10 meter width. I haven't actually used it yet, so I don't know how well it works, but I'm assuming, like, how bad could it be, right? I shouldn't have said that, but it, I mean, we really have to suck to screw that up. We'll see. That might be something we end up with over here too, because it's 10 grand basically. It's like $9,500, and then you just have to get the herbicide, because I don't want weeds in our oat field. All right, we'll see if it's a bad sign that it didn't take the full 1,000 liters of seed, but it did quickly take the full 1,000 liters of, or it took the full 1,000 liters of fertilizer, but then the seeds, it only took 860 liters. So we still have some seeds left. So hopefully we don't go flying through the fertilizer, but I think we will. Just going to change the seeder over to grass, and we're going to get that grass field in first. I think that I'll probably be able to get both the grass field and the oat field planted today. That I think it's important anyways, I think that we do, because I would like to get them going, obviously. So this thing's self-propelled, right? So we just want to drop her down and let her go. Okay, well, there. Now we're putting... let's just make sure that we're putting grass seed in. Yeah, grass. Okay, so what is that giving us? 72% yield bonus. I can only assume that's because we did the lime, and we actually, you know what, we plowed, so we won't get weeds in the oats, will we, if we plowed? Maybe. Anyways, yeah, so we're 50% fertilized. So whether or not we can figure out a way to put some additional fertilizer down, I mean, we do have a spreader, so maybe we could buy some solid fertilizer and then suffer through that. When we get to the sort of the next month or whatever the first growth stage is. But yeah, I don't know. That doesn't sound like a lot of fun. But anyways, yeah, I think maybe I'm not totally confident in that statement, but in regards to the plowing and weeds, but yeah, I think that's a thing, isn't it? Where if you deep plow, then you don't get weeds. So let's hope that's actually real and not just something that my brain's trying to convince me of. Joel, what do you think of this? Man, we're like just hauling butt here trying to get these seeds in the ground, and it is hailing like mad on us. My God. So I've probably bought my third or fourth bag of fertilizer. So that's in the seeder now. I have a pallet. I bought another 1,000 liters of seed pallet anyway, so there's part of that over by our shed. But yeah, this is a tough slog, man. The line went faster, even though I had to keep disconnecting the spreader, but it spread wider. So this is a 6-meter seeder here, and the spreader that we were using was a 10-meter. I don't really know why that matters, but it's just one of the facts of this action-packed episode here. So let me give a quick recap to figure out what we actually did this episode here, because I'm thinking we're probably coming to an end here. I know we've been filming for almost an hour. It's been recording for almost an hour, but and by the end of this, we'll have really, if you think about it, we'll really have accomplished a couple major things. In that we got this field put in here, which is fantastic. We finished the other field over there, obviously. Got this field put in. We put the laneway down the middle there. Then we went and managed to spread lime and get seeds in. So really, once today is done, we really only have to worry about how we can get a second stage of fertilization down. I tried to have a look. I don't think you can purchase manure on the map. We would have to purchase that, I guess, in bulk somehow. I don't even know how you do that. I'll take a look. Gaming Joy has like these silos that you can use to fill fill with lime, fertilizer, all that kind of stuff. We have it on New Frontier. I'm assuming that they're all platforms. If they are, that like crossplay, if they are, then maybe we'll put one in. I think you maybe even get a slight discount on some of the bulk material, but that might be something we look at doing, because you can purchase manure. I think you can purchase slurry. I know we can get fertilizer and lime, all that stuff there, seeds. And it costs us 10 grand to put it in, but I think in the long run it might actually help us. So we may look at that. I just have to check and see if it's crossplay or not. If it isn't, then I'll try to avoid that. But other than that, yeah, we're just going to keep going here. I will likely do nothing in between episodes. I don't think. There's nothing that I can see that we shouldn't just pick up in the month of April and keep going. We may, so the month of April, if I can figure out a second level of fertilizer, a layer of fertilizer, whatever you want to call it, then we'll do that. But beyond that, we'll probably just sell some goods. We should probably get, there's a little bit of, I don't think it's really going to be enough to make a difference yet, but I would like to get the fabric or the clothing production going, actually. Yeah, so I've never actually used this. So clothing, cotton, fabric, so clothing, wool. So for every 2 wools we put in, we get 1 clothing. So we need like 2,000 liters of wool to make 1,000 liters of clothing. So far we have 142 liters of wool. But when we do get there, the pricing for, it's crazy. Yeah, the price is absolutely ridiculous for clothes compared to wool. So we're basically, Yeah. Okay. So it's ridiculous. So at a high point, 2,000 liters of wool is worth $2,400. But when you take that 2,000 liters of wool and convert it to 1,000 liters of clothes, it's now worth $10,000. Well, I'll take it. Thank you. So I am going to continue driving back and forth here. We're going to get this done. I'm going to go shelter from the hail as soon as it's done. Maybe make a coffee, warm up, and then I will see you in the next episode, which will be episode 5. And at that point, let me just say one more thing, actually. So other than maybe making sure that the sheep have food and water, and making sure there's water in the the greenhouses, once we're done putting seeds in the ground, and if we can figure out a second layer of fertilizer, we're really kind of like going to get to the point where we're ready to mow that grass over there, and then perhaps at that point get to the point where we're ready to harvest this. So the nice thing about when the grass comes off there, if we can, I don't know if it's going to be time enough to get it turned into silage. We got to figure out how to afford a harvester. That's going to be the next challenge. But anyways, that's a problem for the future. Right now, our problem is it's dang loud. The hail's hitting me in the eyes, and we need to get out of here. So I'll see you later, guys, and we'll catch up with the next one. All right, take it easy.
To the street.